As real as it gets, part two. My name is Simon Eklund, as I stated in the first video, and I am as real as it gets. This song here, so in the first episode, the song I played was Dark Night of My Soul, and the song I'm going to play today is Awakening. The name of the album is Soul Salvation, and as you can tell from the first album, I've had a path that was, drugs and alcohol were involved in my childhood and my early adult years. And I got clean and sober September 24th, 1994. I have not drank since. Unfortunately, after 22 years of being completely clean and sober, I did end up using some chemicals again. And I have been away from those chemicals now for over 2 years. It was not warranted, not needed, is what it is. But I'm going to be as real as it gets, 100% unfiltered, authentic, as real as it gets. Just because we've fallen apart and made some bad choices doesn't mean we're bad people, and doesn't mean that we can't still succeed in life. So this second song, Dark Night of My Soul, to me, it was about the stripping away of my ego, the coming to believe that there might be a power greater than myself. And in that moment when I looked up to the ceiling in Chicago in September, I don't know the date, it was a couple days before I got sober though. And to that point, I didn't believe in God. I believed that maybe I was a defect, and that I was not worthy of love at all. I learned about God just about things I heard from religious folks when I was a child, and I had been through so much that what they said made me believe that God did that to me because, I was a bad seed, and therefore I needed to be punished somehow. Well, I know that to not be true today, but that narrative was unconscious, and it carried with me through my lifetime, and it took a lot of hard work to excavate this reality. So I hope that, what I hope to do through As Real as It Gets is help guide people that maybe are facing challenges in their life, whether it's drug addiction, alcoholism, overeating, gambling. It doesn't matter what it is. We can become attached too much to working out, and that's not healthy. So if our life is out of balance in some area, there's a reason. And I hope to be an inspiration, to give my personal experience, what I've learned, what the unconscious narrative is that drove these reactions that were out of character for myself. Certainly not an excuse, because I've been able to understand even what my triggers are and intentionally enter situations that are triggering in order to over time desensitize and rewrite that unconscious narrative that, these safe things are in fact safe. These safe places and people are in fact safe. So it takes conscious effort to do this. But if a person is struggling and they come across these videos, I hope that I can maybe guide to some resources, and that'll come down the road. But today I'm going to play the song Awakening. So in the first one was Dark Night of My Soul, and if anybody that's been through it understands how painful and lonely it is to reach that place. But this next song is Awakening, and it just, when that moment when I asked God to please help me, it was 100% without reservation of any kind. Like, I didn't care what I had to do to not feel that lonely and that worthless and that unimportant in life. And all of a sudden I realized that God didn't do those things to me. Just like the footprints in the sand, that God carried me through every one of these tragic things and kept me alive because he wants me to experience joy. And, if you come across this and you're going through it and you've been going through it and it just keeps beating you up and you're like, there is hope, and divine timing can be slow, but God will reward us for doing his work, staying close, staying true, you know. And what I mean by this is not giving in to a false narrative that somehow drugs or alcohol or a certain lifestyle will fix that void within, because it won't. It didn't for me. Nothing ever has, other than spending time with myself and getting to learn who I am and love me because God loves me. And not loves me any more than the next person. God loves us all. We are all a creation of God. And therefore, his main desire for us as human beings is to strip away these egos, to strip away these preconceived ideas about each other by this exterior shell, or what our religious belief might be, or so on and so forth. It is for us to unite as human beings, to work together as human beings, to create a more comfortable, pleasant living environment for us and for the future of humanity. So I'd say that, you know, I'm not a Republican nor am I a Democrat, but I am a humanitarian in nature. I just can't even get with either side, because the United States of America was founded on United We Stand, yet they divided our government, and that just wrecked it right then and there. We the people for the people, you know. I believe in this country. I believe in our Constitution. I believe in these things. I do. But I don't believe in this division, and then our communities are divided into so many crazy different directions. It's just, you know, we're at war everywhere, and we don't need to be. We need to unite and find responsible, sustainable solutions. So, you know, I can't change the world. I don't think that that's what God's mission for me is that I need to understand what I can change in myself in order to be happy in what is there at my fingertips, you know, to create. I've heard it said before, if the world throws you lemons, we'll make lemonade. And I think that's a great saying. And, you know, or there's this couple of little girls, you know, and they're like little princesses, and this little girl gets a whole big pile of hay and horse poop, and she's happy and digging around at it. And what are you so happy about that dog or horse poop for? Well, with all this horse poop, there's got to be a pony in there somewhere. So, you know, there's just some ideas a person can take on to laugh about in life, that, yeah, you know, sometimes life can really be challenging, and it can feel like there's no way to win and to achieve, you know, just being able to be sustainable, to feel like I'm not a deadbeat, to feel like I'm not worthless, to feel like I have something to offer that can actually support me financially too. You know, that's what I think everybody truly wants, and it's really difficult. And it's hard, because our career paths, I think most are driven by, well, what is it that I can do to earn the most amount of money, because my value is based on how much I can earn. And well, if we chase a career path or a job based on how much we can earn, we likely, well, I did, and I ended up falling into something that I had a love-hate relationship with. I made a decision based on logic when it came to my career, and I'll get to those. So, awakening. That's a good place for me to end, because this sector is about career paths and what drove my choices in career. So this song is Awakening, is the second track, and I'm going to do all the songs in order on Soul Salvation is the name of the album. And so the first one was Dark Night of My Soul, and this track is Awakening. I hope you like it. I had an audience show up. This is really great. What's your name?
That was amazing. My name is LingLing. Nice to meet you.
LingLing, my name is Simon.
Simon, nice to meet you,
It's
Simon.
a pleasure to meet you. I hope you don't mind. I'm recording
No
this.
problem. That's you.
And I'm just going to keep it going. So, LingLing, what brings you here today?
I just came out. It's a beautiful day, so I just came out here to have a smoke. That's about it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you here. I saw you playing. And the music basically drove me over here. It was beautiful.
I'm glad that it did. I'm recording today because I'm starting a series called As Real as It Gets.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
A podcast, As Real as It Gets, and it's about humanity. It's about life. It's about the challenges we face as we go through life and this journey to learn and understand and be a part of what we can contribute in this world. So what do you do for a living?
Well, at the moment, I do PCA work, and I'm taking classes, but I guess, school's over for the moment. But,
yeah.
I want to become an astronomer eventually in the future.
An astronomer?
I love stars and, anything that has to do with space, baffles me. So
okay, so currently you're working with humans.
Yeah, but I'm working with humans at the moment, yeah.
And do you like that?
I actually love that. My mother grew up disabled from a young age. She had polio, so she always had a disability. So when she had me growing up and everything, I was always her little helper. And then growing up, I always felt like anybody who had a disability, I could, give a handout to. So that's why I became a personal care assistant for like anybody who needs help, at the time. So,
that's great.
Yeah, so it's something that I love doing while I'm trying to pursue, my career.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's what I was kind of talking about. That I was just getting into career.
Absolutely.
And how does one choose a career path?
Yeah, that's really hard to choose. It took a long time for me to realize because there was so many other things I wanted to do. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. I even had to leave the country, leave the continent to even get an understanding of it in the first place.
Right. Do you mind if I turn this toward you? All right. And again, what was your name?
LingLing.
LingLing.
Yeah.
We've got LingLing. This is cool.
Yeah. When you say as real as it gets, what's your definition of real?
This is it.
In our real world.
Right here.
Here?
This is as real as it gets.
This is as real as it gets.
I was sitting here playing the guitar. You're sitting over there enjoying some time. You heard my music. You came over. Absolutely. We're having a conversation.
Yep.
And I'm recording it.
Absolutely.
But as if, let's just forget it, right?
Yeah, they don't got to be there.
So it really started authentically.
Absolutely. Genuinely.
Mm-hmm. And that's as real as it gets.
That's as real as it gets.
And that's what I want to have my series be about. So I came out here, and each series I open with a song. I explain where the song came from, and how it relates to my healing journey, and how it relates to helping people find a career path, or change a career, or become a business owner, or enter the workforce for the first time.
What are you healing from?
Trauma, lots of trauma. Lifetime childhood traumas that were unavoidable, circumstantial, but deadly. And
you're here to tell about
I'm here to tell about it.
You feel me?
Exactly. Not and not just survive, but thrive.
Thrive. Yep. Absolutely.
And what is success really, and what is thriving really? Some people, we gauge success by what they have monetarily or materially.
Materially. Yep.
So, and for me, what I have interpersonally is 100% priceless.
I see what you're saying. So, I was delving into that with my friend the other day about, what does it really mean to be, successful in this life? You know what I mean? And does it mean to have a career and to, be successful money-wise and to be rich? Or does it mean to have a family and to, bring the next generation of life into this world and, be like that? Does it mean to be religious and to be spiritual and to, go out and, if you're a woman, be a nun or whatever the case is, whatever your religion is, do that. So, we were talking about that and we were delving into it. And one of the questions he asked was, what really makes a human fulfilled in this world? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can really be fulfilled in this world. That's kind of my mindset. It's I feel like this world is literally meant to kind of challenge you, and when you think you're fulfilled and you got it, something new will come up or the world will move on, and I feel like you just have to go with the flow. That's kind of my mindset. as you go through life, it's like, you know, make a goal. Once you get to it, you have to make a new one. I don't think there's a indefinite fulfillment.
That's well,
kind of my mindset.
That's one of the
it.
things that I talked about in my first segment was the journey never ends.
Absolutely. There you go.
You know, and to never we're constantly as we're born into this world, we're both teacher and student from the moment we enter this world. And we should always remain both teachable and bring something to the table.
On that?
So, well, when we're born, immediately we're teaching our mothers something about our needs.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And if she's a mother for the first time, she's really learning how to be a parent.
Absolutely.
From that infant.
Is her body as well. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, yeah. So and we're connected, you know. There's vibrations around us that connect us and tell us a certain storyline that isn't heard.
Absolutely.
It's felt.
It's felt.
Yeah. And so to be fulfilled, well, everybody's journey is different, so everybody's idea of what success truly is different. But as they go through life, that also will change for them. What they believe success is likely will change. You know, success doesn't necessarily mean monetary stability, but everybody wants to be there.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a goal for everybody. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah,
you know,
it seems like even happiness in itself, it seems like it's always fleeting. You know, like you can't be happy forever.
Right.
Or an indefinite amount of time. Like there's always gonna be something that happens. You feel me? You
Yeah.
can have the most beautiful family in the world, but you know at one point somebody's gonna die. It's gonna end eventually, or they'll lose you. You feel me?
Yes.
And you actually made a good point that I didn't think about, is that like if you have a career goal for like me, astronomy or whatever I want to get into, that could be completely changed if I have a kid and he changed my mind about whatever I want to be into.
Right.
So I, you know, like other factors
and there that child is then the teacher.
The teacher, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now. It's like it just changes everything. So that's pretty amazing to think about. Yeah.
You know, I was in a car accident back in 2013, and the car accident was really a blessing in disguise. My medical doctor that I had been seeing for many years told me at that point, Simon, you have to change your career.
Okay.
And you know, I really didn't like what I did. I chose that career path from a place of logic rather than what I truly felt might be a better path for me in my career.
How men are in the
so
world, though, you know?
I chose to go down the path of driving semi-truck. And over the course of 15 years, I owned 4 different semi-trucks, and I hauled everything that you can think of, from building supplies, medical supplies, food, hurricane relief. I hauled freight to NASA once.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That hell of an experience.
And so those are experiences that not everybody's going to have in this life. I got to see every state in this country and get paid for it.
All 50?
All 50 of them. No, all 48 in the lower 48. Not Alaska or Hawaii.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's something I wanted to do. Get an RV and go to, you know, all of the money I can.
Sure.
For sure. But
so it was rewarding in the beginning because it was new and it was glorious, and I was learning something new, and I was like a kid. I thought back to the 80s. See, I was born in 72. So in the 80s, I was a young guy when Smokey and the Bandit and Convoy, these are semi-trucks and fast cars, you know. And I thought, wow, cool. And my friend's dad that lived just at the end of the block outside of the quarries here came home one day. I was probably about 12 years old, and he was a semi-truck owner-operator. And I got to get inside of that thing, and wow, there's a bed back there, and there's switches and bells and whistles and gauges and jewels and chrome and a horn. And I'm like, wow, I'd like to do this someday. So when I was at a crossroads in life and I had to think about what am I going to do with myself now, should I go to school? Because I'd be really good at being a counselor or some kind of guidance counselor, something to that effect. Maybe chemical dependency counselor, I didn't know. But what I did know is I didn't do well in a traditional learning environment.
Okay.
So
Absolutely.
fear drove my decision at that point, along with curiosity and mystique,
Yeah.
you know, from my childhood,
And
that
innocence in a
I,
sense. Yeah.
I can go learn to drive truck and get paid immediately rather than go and take on $80,000 debt.
4 years.
But
do
I was
all
only
this.
24,
Absolutely.
25 at the time, I think. So it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I made a decision based off of logic. And it wasn't the wrong choice. It was just a learning path.
Hey, there's no right or wrong choices. You
But
feel me?
for
You just have to get
out of the
through it. It's a learning
15
experience.
out of the 15 years, about 13 of them were like being in prison for me.
Oh wow.
A rolling
Did it-
prison,
did it
because
just
once
start
I
like
saw
that,
the
or-
country, no.
I see what
The
you're saying.
first 2 years was great, but
Was great,
after I
okay.
saw the entire country
It just felt
and
like
I fell into the lanes that I started to frequent,
absolutely.
it got to be
became
repetitive and
yeah.
boring and very unrewarding. People are always hurry up and hurry up and hurry up and wait, and you underpaid, and the expenses killed me, and I lost everything.
That's the
And I lost everything, but at least I did it.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah,
at
you
least I
survived
did it.
You
Yeah.
survived it.
Yeah, I
You
survived it,
thrived.
and I learned from it. So in 2013, I was in a car accident, and okay, what am I going to do with my life? Because my doctor just told me no more physical labor. Period.
Really?
Yes,
Like
no more.
whatsoever.
Yeah, none. I'm not.
Was it for a certain period of time? Or
No,
forever.
that because I have a permanent now injury to my back that's irreversible. So it's going to get worse, never better.
At what age did you get this?
This was in 2013. So what's that?
And this was all because of
12
the car
years
accident.
ago. Car accident.
Ah, okay, okay, yes.
And the car accident was the other person's fault, and she didn't have car insurance, so I had to sue my own insurance company.
Wow.
And that's a whole nother
hell of a
story.
hassle. Yeah,
But
proceed.
you know, there I am now, unemployed, and I was on my way, actually, because I didn't like my career anymore. I was being retrained in a new career path at this point to become a tattoo artist.
Oh wow,
Because
yeah, I see it.
I'm an artist,
That's
and
really
yeah,
nice.
I'm all tattooed up. It's been something that I've liked since I was a kid, and I always didn't think I'd be good enough to be a tattoo artist, so I never chased that career path. And you had to be offered an apprenticeship, and I just didn't think I'd be good enough, and I was afraid or something. So,
Hey, it is
but
what it is.
I was working at Northern Metal Recycling as a crane operator. And I was apprenticing at a new tattoo shop that my, at the time, wife and I helped the owner build. And so I started my apprenticeship, and I was on my way to my apprenticeship after my long day of work at the scrapyard. So that was me being responsible, and I'm trying to change my career and follow maybe something that aligned with my passion versus my pocketbook. Because my pocketbook wasn't really being aligned very well because I had no passion and I hated what I did, so it was draining my energy and I didn't even like it, and I was kind of angry and cranky, and it was really miserable. And this car accident was like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not dumb. God gave me a good brain, and he made me
And he gave you
intelligent.
a second chance as well.
You know, and I
basically.
didn't learn well in a traditional learning environment, but I've always done well when I was interested in studying something. And I, at
Yeah,
that
when you
point,
put your heart and
realized
mind
even
to it.
sitting in a fixed position for long periods of time was going to give me problems. So being a tattoo artist wasn't going to
be a
work
thing.
anymore. So I chose a home-based business. And the business was originally a franchise brokerage.
Okay.
And what a franchise broker does is help people that are interested in owning a business of their own, specifically through a franchise brand.
Ah, okay. I see
So-
what you're saying, like McDonald's.
Correct.
All these other franchises.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Proceed.
So I think this is a great opportunity. I get to work from home, and I help people find with a solution. They have a challenge. They're looking for something. I get to learn about what it is that their needs are, their desires, and I'll help them align with it.
Yes, sir.
And it happened to be about business, and I've always been interested in business ownership.
Yes,
It's
sir.
always piqued my interest. And I'll get into that in another episode about my job in Chicago as a bicycle mechanic.
Man, you did everything at this
Yes,
point.
yes.
Up and down, huh? Up
All
and
right,
down.
I'll just go back.
Uh-huh.
Bicycle mechanic,
Yep.
bicycle messenger.
So you were
In
like
Chicago.
sending mail?
Yes, I carried legal documents on a bicycle in downtown Chicago.
Proceed.
So
That's two.
back to franchise
Yep.
brokerage. It's like being a real estate agent, but instead of helping somebody find a home to
home, yep.
purchase, I help them find a franchise business to invest in. And so what I helped them do was to evaluate themselves and evaluate their likes, their dislikes, their transferable skills, what they're capable of learning, their budget, their timeline.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you have to go to school or anything for this?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I had to be trained by trained professionals
I
to
see.
be a franchise broker, and there's actually franchises
Mhm.
in franchise brokerage.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
And-
a little confusing, but makes
yeah,
sense. Makes
no.
sense.
So and it is exciting. It got me really excited because I've known about myself that I've always had this interest in interpersonal relations with other human beings. That I love getting to know people, and I like sharing about myself, and I like learning and sharing and teaching and learning. It excites me.
Absolutely.
So, and it paid very well. I thought, this is an industry that I can do something I enjoy. I won't be overworked, and I can actually generate what I believe to be financial freedom and
Absolutely.
success.
Yeah. Your pockets are aligned with your
Right.
pockets.
So my business started out as a franchise-specific brokerage, and I had to buy leads, that from internet portals that were franchise-specific leads, and they're $50 a piece
Okay.
for a name, email, phone number,
Okay.
and the location where they are.
Address.
Yep.
Yep.
And maybe it might give me an interest. They were interested in Subway, or they were interested in senior care, or some industry.
Yeah.
Sure. So they're expensive, and it costs money to start even a home-based business. And remember, I was just in a car accident.
Absolutely.
But now this is several months later. And in between then and there, several months later, my wife and I, we weren't married, but we did get married. And then we became pregnant on our honeymoon. And then she ended up on bed rest, and we didn't have her income.
Yeah.
And we didn't
Sadly,
have my
yeah.
income from the scrapyard anymore.
Anymore either.
Yeah, and my insurance company refused to pay me.
Bad.
So to get trained as a franchise broker,
You had to pay out of pocket.
it's like $30,000 for the education. So through doing my due diligence in learning about franchise brokerage, and I was doing my due diligence not on a franchise but on a business opportunity in franchise brokerage. So it didn't have the franchise licensing requirements. It was a business opportunity, so the legalities are different, but it was still an opportunity in franchise brokerage. And I was really, really interested, and I was excited about it. And I got a list of 15 names and numbers of people who have invested in Franchise Brokers Association, which was the name of the business opportunity, the FBA, Franchise Brokers Association. And I called every person and interviewed every person, and the last one said to me, it sounds like you might have enough that you can pay for the opportunity, but how are you going to run your business? So he gave me the name of a man. His name is Kevin Olson, and he is a franchise broker, but more than that, he and his brother started a sports, official sports memorabilia, and you're wearing official sports memorabilia. And so he and his brother in the 80s started Sports Image Limited. And later on sold their franchise business outright, sold it, and Kevin went on to become a franchise broker, and his brother went on to take Subway from like 600 locations to thousands globally. So these are the people that trained me in franchise brokerage, along with a woman in Ohio who was a franchise attorney and left to become a franchise broker, Lori Sturm, and another woman in Michigan, Sarah Swift Morgan, and another man, Gary C. and Gary Greg Bast. This is a team of franchise professionals that I learned from, and they started a brokerage called Fran Brokers Consortium. And during my training, because Kevin liked what he saw, because he said, I'm going to agree to train you. It was the 15th person that I called and validated with. He said, here's this man, Kevin Olson. He only works with one person a year or two people a year. But if he has an opening and he feels like you'll do what he says, he might train you. So I called Kevin Olson and I laid my cards on the table. This is my life. It's a turned upside down disaster, but I have a desire. I don't have a whole lot of money, but I have goals and I have desire, and I'm willing to do the work. Absolutely. And he said, I trust you, I believe in you, and he gave me a $30,000 education for a fraction.
That's amazing.
On hold until I made my first placement.
First money,
yeah, so that man,
wow, that's hell of a handout.
Was very gracious, and he a big heart, and he, in his what he gave to me freely did not go wasted, because
Shout out to him.
And that team invited me to be a co-founder of Fran Brokers Consortium.
Amazing.
So I then became a co-founder of this business, but as I'm doing that, my wife's on bed rest. Our insurance company, we have to take to court to fight, and
life is going
life is happening around us. And then our son is born 10 weeks early, and we spend 38 days in the NICU with him, all while trying to build this business. And it takes a really long time to go through 100 leads. And so after all said and done, $92,000 of crippling debt. Our second child is born and passes away 4 minutes later.
Your first?
Our second child.
Your second child.
Yes, now it's years later. And franchise Voyager, which I originally started, is now Career Transition Headquarters.
Okay.
I'm still working with Fran Brokers Consortium as a co-founder and weekly leader in franchise evaluation calls with franchisors. So life is really going on. I'm writing articles about business development, about personal evaluation. Career Transition Headquarters is now my main page. And I just start to shut down. And life falls apart. Trauma. All the childhood trauma and life happening, and debt, and the old false narrative of I'm a loser, I'm not successful, I can't support my family, I'm not good enough for my wife, I should just go away. And I fell apart. I ended up using drugs for a few years, and the only thing I didn't lose was my life.
Oh, give me 1 second.
Yeah, go right ahead. And so I'm going to kind of...
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah,
Your life is all that matters the most.
This thing's 37 minutes in. That's not too bad, but everybody has a real awareness now of what my career path has been, and now I'm at Career Transition Headquarters. I'm going to wrap up. This has been episode 2, As Real as It Gets, with Simon, and starts with an L, right?
So it's LingLing.
LingLing.
Yeah. No, LingLing.
LingLing.
That's
LingLing.
LingLing. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got it now.
Appreciate that. And what did you say your name was?
Simon. Simon says.
Nice. Simon says.
Simon says.
As real
this
as
is
it
as real as it gets.
As real as
LingLing and Simon, episode 2. What a blessing.
It truly is. Well, life in itself is a blessing, man. It's this beautiful weather is a blessing. So it was amazing to meet you, man. What was that song about, if you don't mind? We can end it on
that was my second song on my album Soul Salvation.
Okay.
And the song title was Awakening. Awakening of the Spirit.
That's amazing.
You know, I didn't say of the Spirit. The song is just called Awakening, but that's what it's about.
Nah, it definitely touched the soul. It definitely touched the soul. Bro. It had me rocking.
And it was all inspired and created through me from God.
It's amazing, bro. That's amazing.
That's the way I look at it. Not to be egotistical.
Absolutely
it couldn't have been done any other way.
Hey, that's what you're here for, bro.
Right?
That's what you're here for. That's what God made you for, I guess.
Hang loose.
Alrighty, my man.